To extract information, you first need to get the element. But when you're actually building the workflow, you'll find that a lot of elements can't be retrieved directly. More often than not, you have to get them indirectly by using other elements as a workaround. So it's super crucial to accurately locate the specific element based on the positional relationships between elements. Contains and siblings are the two most common positional relationships between elements in a web page structure. For example, take an element like this. Click Capture Element. Hover your mouse over it, and you'll notice you can capture both the outer large element and text element, and the inner icon element. This way, the large element contains the other elements, creating a nested structure. We call this relationship contains. The outer large element is known as the parent element, and the two small inner elements are called child element. At the same time, these two small inner elements are siblings. They're each other's sibling element. For example, the large all element below is the parent element of each element inside it, and all the child elements are sibling elements to each other. If you want to get the Save button child element through the parent element, how should you go about it? First, capture this parent element. That's the large UL element, and name it father element. Then we can use getRelatedElement and set the target to the parent element we just captured. To get a child element, select child element. The retrieval method can be either all child elements or specific child element. The position numbering here is 0 based, and the Save button happens to be the first child element, so no adjustments are needed. Rename the fetched element to Save Element and hit Done. How do we verify the element? We can use hover mouse over element. After running it, you'll see the mouse hovering over the Save button of the first post. Next, we'll keep using the parent element to get child elements so we can grab the Save element for all posts. Like we mentioned earlier, all the post titles on the current page make up a group of similar elements. And it's not just the titles. The elements at the corresponding positions for all posts are also a group of similar elements. Plus, the parent element we captured earlier also fits the definition of a similar elements group. Capture its similar elements group again. And name it Playground Stories Father's Similar Element Group. If you want to go through each element in the Similar Elements group one by one, you'll need to use Loop Through Similar Elements. Set the target to the Similar Elements group you just captured, and rename the element you get in each iteration to current father element. Drag those two commands from above directly into the loop. Change the target in getRelatedElement to the current father element from each iteration, and rename the retrieved element object to current Save element. The target element of the hover command will adjust automatically. Hit Run, and the mouse will hover over each Save button one after another. Besides the getRelatedElement we went over earlier, getElement also lets you get a specific element through contains relationship, and it has a pretty powerful feature, search within a parent element. This lets a similar elements group get one of its items by linking it to the parent element. Take the current page, for example. All the Save buttons are a group of similar elements, and this Save button is also a child element of this parent element. So by linking the Save button's similar elements group with this parent element, the overlap you get is exactly this Save button. Let's verify it. Earlier, we already captured this parent element, and we also need to capture this similar element group. Name it Playground Stories Save Similar Element Group, and set it as the target in getElement. Check search within a parent element. The parent element to link up with is the father element we captured earlier, and rename the element you get after association to first Save element. Keep using hover mouse over element, hit Run, and the mouse will successfully hover over the first save button. If you keep looking at the current page, you'll notice this. The second save button is both the second item in this column's similar elements group and a child element of the second row parent element. That means if you link the save button's similar elements group to the second parent element, you can locate the second save button. And the third save button is both the third item in this column's similar elements group and a child element of the third row parent element. That means linking it to the third parent element lets you locate the third save button, and so on. In other words, each item in this similar elements group can be precisely retrieved by associating its owning parent element. If you want to get each parent element one after another, you'll need to use loop through similar elements. Set the target to the parent element's similar elements group and rename the loop item to current father element. Next, reuse those two commands from above and drag them into this loop. This time, the parent element in getElement is the current father element from each iteration, and the element object you get is the corresponding save button element after each association. Rename it to current save element. On the first iteration, the current father element is the first parent element, and the element you get by linking the save button's similar elements group is the first save button. On the second iteration, the current underscore father element is the second parent element, and the element you get is the second save button, and so on. So after running it, the mouse will hover over each save button one after another. At this point, you might be wondering, since we can just loop through each item in the similar elements group directly, why associate the parent element before fetching? Next, we'll explain why using a common scenario. Now, based on this workflow, we need to make this happen. Save posts with more than 200 likes. After checking out the page, you'll see that the like and save buttons are basically in the same spot on the page. So you can also use the associated parent element to get the target like element. Capture the like similar elements group. And name it Playground Stories like similar element group. Then add a get element to get the like element. Set the target to the like similar elements group, associating the current parent element. And rename the obtained like element to current like element. This element shows the number, which is the specific count. Use get element details to get it, and name it current like text. Print this result to take a look, and disable the hover command. After hitting run, the printed result looks fine at first glance. But if you hover over the command log on the right side of Get Element Details, you'll see the variable type shown here is string. But we need to do a comparison, and string type obviously can't handle accurate calculations directly. So basically, before comparing, you still need to convert this variable to a number type. You don't have to add extra commands. You can do the type conversion directly in the variable selection box. Add if, click FX, expand the target variable, and there are 3 string type conversions here. Pick toInt to turn the string into an integer type, and the int in front is actually the type conversion syntax in Python. The condition is greater than 200, and if it's met, you need to use click element to click the save button, with the target set to the current save element we got earlier. The loop starts with the first post to check the like count. It clicks the save button for posts over 200, otherwise moves on to the next one, until it's done with the last post on the current page. After running it, there's no change on the left-hand page because all the like counts here happen to be under 200. Manually switch to the second page. Run it again. And this time it clicks the Save button for 2 posts with likes over 200. Manually switching to the second page is obviously not smart. We set up auto-pagination logic in the last lesson, and next we'll add pagination to the current workflow. For the workflow's readability, we can collapse it and label it as process all posts of the current page. The total page count is shown at the bottom left of the page. Capture it and name it Playground Stories page num. Above the collapse block, add a Get Element Details to grab the displayed text and rename it page num text. You'll still need to use extract from text to extract the specific page number and name the extracted result page num. Search for loop. Set start from to 1, end at to page num. Increment by to 1 and rename the loop item to current page. The loop body is the workflow we collapsed earlier. Drag it in. After finishing the current page, you also need to click the Next Page button. Capture this element and name it Playground Stories Next Page. Finally, there's a really important logic point. You don't need to click Next on the last page. Check if current page is less than page num. And if it is, click Next Page. Refresh the page and run overall. After finishing the current page, continue to click the next page until all pages are completed. Now, you should understand why we use contains to grab the target save and like elements. Suppose we loop through the similar elements group for save buttons and the one for likes buttons separately and get the current loop item in each. Then we would have to figure out how to link these two separate elements from the two different loops. By using contains, we only need to loop through the parent element's similar elements group, and for each parent element, we can get its save and like child elements. This approach is clearly both convenient and efficient, and it ensures that the elements match up correctly, keeping the workflow more stable. If the specified element's position within the parent element is clear, we recommend using getRelatedElement. If the element's position isn't clear, you can use getElement, check search within a parent element, and grab the specific element by using the association between the similar elements group and its parent element. In addition, you can also use getRelatedElement and leverage siblings to get the specified element.